Hi. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a session that I had today that had a beautiful ending with regard to healing a personal relationship. So stay tuned. Today's client had a really amazing session, and it's something I really wanted to kind of come on today and talk a little bit about her experience. Just to give an example of what a session can do when it comes to healing the relationships in our life that have brought us a lot of issues of where it's impacted our whole life. It's impacted maybe the way that we view relationships. It's impacted the way that we view our own self-love. So I wanted to kind of walk you through this woman's experience. That was really, it had a very beautiful result. So this woman is in her 40s. She's divorced, has grown kids. In her life, she very much mentioned how she was always had a very difficult relationship with her father. She very much felt like she wasn't seen. She felt like she wasn't loved. Her relationship with her mother was fine, but with her father, she just always felt extremely disconnected. She very much wanted the attention and love of her father, but that just wasn't happening for her. And it was something that she very much internalized throughout her entire life. And it did affect her relationships. It affected the way that she viewed love relationships and issues of self-worth and feeling whether she was lovable. So in her session, she immediately lands in a scenario where she is in what appears to be a field hospital, in what appears to be a war zone, and it appears to be in a time frame of like a World War I era. It was kind of hard to kind of pinpoint a place and a time, but the first thing that comes out of this is, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't save these people. There is chaos, there is trauma, there is how do I even put it? She just comes, and how there is so much misery and suffering everywhere in this location. And she realizes that in this lifetime that she is viewing, she is a male. She is a male physician in this field hospital. And he is doing everything he can to try to help as many people as he can, but he realizes that he just can't possibly do enough. Neither can all of the people that are helping him in this scene. Then we go through really kind of getting details on what it is that he's doing, what he's trying to do, and that again, there's no way that he can do enough to help these people and to alleviate their suffering. We fast forward through that life, going to other important days in that lifetime, and in that lifetime, we go to where he returns home, and he returns home to wife and children. And in that life, he is so traumatized by what he's experienced in war that he just cannot emotionally connect to his wife, cannot emotionally connect to his children. Again, just moving forward through the years, it's just the same scenario. And ultimately, his wife leaves him, and his relationship with his children is basically non-existent. And again, moving forward to the last day in this man's life, he's alone. He passes away of natural causes as an old man. And when we reach to the higher self to ask, why was this life viewed for this woman who's in my office? Why did that lifetime as a male physician in this war zone, why was it viewed? It was because she needed to have understanding of what it was that her father had experienced. Now, her father had been in a military capacity in his career, and she wasn't too specific with regard to what he had experienced, but there was definitely trauma and PTSD in his experience. So what she experienced in terms of going back and viewing a scenario of being in the trauma of war and having this first person perspective of understanding why that trauma created a scenario where this man in her experience could not connect to his children because of the trauma he had experienced, gave her a completely different point of view on what it is that her father in her current lifetime had experienced. And this amazing healing took place. There was a lot of tears, there was a lot of purging of these emotions, but what it enabled her to do was to have a perspective of understanding what he had experienced and giving her a wisdom and empathy on what his experience was and why his inability to connect with her had nothing to do with her, and it just had everything to do with his life experience and his unhealed traumas. And that part of the reason, and then again, one of the questions we always ask is, why was she kind of born into this family, kind of knowing that this might be a scenario, a blueprint of her life? And it was for her to learn self-love, that she didn't need to look for love outside of her from anybody else, that all the love that she needed was within, and to learning that self-love. And again, to have wisdom and empathy and understanding for others in this lifetime that might be experiencing that same sense of loss or that same sense of disconnection. So I know this is very much paraphrasing a very profound experience with this client today, but I really wanted to just jump on and share with you this really beautiful experience, and also just to give you an understanding of how these sessions work with each individual client in such a unique way to really bring forward healing and understanding. So with that, wish you many blessings. Till next time. Thank you.